If you've always been curious about traveling solo but haven't quite gathered the courage to really try it, this video is for you. Just Michelle. Every now and then I get the question, what's so fun about traveling solo? And for a time, whenever somebody asked me this question, I would find myself stumped because for me, it's just naturally fun and I never really stop to think about why I find it so rewarding. But the other day I got to thinking and I narrowed it down to 3 reasons, and let me share that with you. Reason number 1, traveling solo gives me time to think. Whenever I'm going through something difficult, traveling solo gives me that much needed time and space to process my emotions and just relax. Sometimes there's so many things going on at the same time and they happen so fast that I forget to breathe. And usually a good long hike helps me calm my nerves down and put things into perspective. Reason number 2, traveling solo is proof of my personal growth. I think I've mentioned this plenty of times, but I'm actually a child out of wedlock. And when I was a child, unfortunately, I lived in a hostile environment which constantly reminded me that my existence was an anomaly. Actually, it was difficult to breathe in the very house I lived in because one tiny wrong move could result in an avalanche of shouts and screams. And the result was that I confined myself in the space that I occupied and I was afraid to go out and move. When you've lived your life like this for a long time, you become so used to it that you don't even notice that you're doing it to yourself. So for a while, even after I've moved to Japan, I maintained the same routine of going to school and then going straight back home without even exploring. As much as I love the idea of adventure, I resorted to vicariously experiencing it through books, television, and film. I had convinced myself that I was terrible at doing outdoor activities before I'd even tried. But ever since I started traveling solo, I realized how much I missed out on just by wrongly believing that I couldn't do it. In the past year, I've gone on several hikes, I've checked out really quirky places, and been to places I've never been to, all because I had the courage to take on the challenge. And yeah, I've gotten lost plenty of times and got myself into tricky situations here and there, but the mishaps are actually part of the fun and they make good conversation pieces too. It took a bit of time, but I went from someone who restricted her adventures to fiction to someone who's actually living them out, and it's one of the most rewarding changes in my life. Reason number 3, traveling solo helps me see the beauty in people. As you may have seen in my other videos, I love traveling with my friends, but when I do, my focus is on them. Traveling solo gives me a chance to set my focus elsewhere and see things that would have otherwise go unnoticed. Like a dad pretending to be mad at his toddler while his toddler gives him a scolding, or an old lady who keeps bringing up her late husband in conversation, or a young couple visiting a shrine together. We all have different ways of expressing love, of working hard towards our dreams, and we get a tiny peek into each other's lives when we cross paths, no matter how short the instance. As ordinary people, we live our lives outside the spotlight, and in these precious moments, I like to think that I am the unknown witness to someone's struggle or success, and wish them well in the process. And those are my top 3 reasons. If they sound appealing, I hope you give solo travel a try. And if you're still being a little bit apprehensive, maybe the real question you have in mind is it lonely? Well, here's the thing. Solitude does not necessarily equate to loneliness. You're with yourself after all, someone you hopefully know very well and love. And if you don't, then here's the perfect chance for you to be alone with your thoughts and be comfortable with them. And yeah, every now and then you will get that bordering on rude question which asks, why do you travel solo? Don't you have any friends? Here's my answer to that question. It's precisely because I have friends that I'm comfortable being on my own. There are things that I enjoy with my friends, and there are interests that I'd rather cultivate on my own because they make me who I am. My own experiences make me a separate person, and these set of experiences are actually what I bring to the table. I think that similarities help you find connection with people, but it's actually the differences that make a conversation more engaging. Besides, I love that feeling that you get after an adventure. That feeling that after you've been away from loved ones for a while, you finally get to go home. I get that solo travel is not everybody's cup of tea. but if there's a part of you that's curious and wants to give it a try, I hope this video serves as your inspiration and as your push. This has been Michelle. I'll see you again next time. Bye!